excited to be here. I first want to say thank you for letting us come to spend some time with y'all this morning, to share with y'all what we're doing as a committee, where we're going, and what our vision and goals are. But I want to say I'm excited to be here because I didn't know what the Rotary Club was until I met John about a year ago. And I had no idea until this morning there was a noon and a daybreak Rotary Club. So thank you all for what y'all do for the community and for this state and for the world, because y'all make an impact. And real quick, what I want to do before I start, I want to show a video. It's real quick about 3 veterans. Just kind of hear what they have to say, and then we'll talk about it.
Hopefully y'all can hear.
I guess he was always brought up to believe in this country, greatest country on earth.
Oh yeah, and it's not pride in the country. I'm a 3rd-generation military member. As a kid, I wanted to serve. It just makes sense to me. It's home.
I was 18, the 21st of April, and 43. 2 weeks later, I got my letter, Mr. President. Picture here was taken on the outer edge of Manila. The USS Honda was a big flat-top carrier, first one they built. Picked us up in San Diego. They took off for South Pacific.
I chose to go to Vietnam, serve my country. That was me when I first went over to Vietnam. We did a lot of prepping. It was four on each side, sitting out with the feet hanging out.
I believe in freedom. It's part of my, it's part of my values. And so, again, a word of freedom. And I believe that's worth dying for. That's, at the end of the day, that's what I believe.
These all in here, was taken on Vietnam. The next morning, they called out a detail of 12 people. We loaded on an aircraft and flew to Bougainville. That's where I joined the squadron at. The MSP 236 was the dive bomber squadron. We was one of the first groups that had the M1 rifle.
What unifies our military is, at the end of the day, it's what we do is it's not a game. It's ultimately there's a loss of life, and I think my first real experience serving in the EOR and serving in a combat arena, I really came to understand that when a life is involved, everybody will drop everything, and like I said, there is not a question about who they are, but how can we help them.
It's a Marine Corps insignia is what it is. I don't care what branch of the service you're in. You're all there for the same reason.
We all fight for the common goal, and that is one our nation and 2 for each other.
Yeah, this is a combat infantry badge. And this is the wings where I was an airborne trooper, paratrooper. Every once in a while, people will still come up to me and if they see my Vietnam hat or whatever, say thank you for your service. And it still means a lot.
When people thank me, I always remind them it's an honor to serve. Everything that I have in my life and everything that I have in my family came from service.
I'd do it all over again if I had to. Every Veterans Day, the older I get, I think the more important it comes to me.
Veterans Day means to me is a time to honor everybody who came forward. They were willing to pay up to everything, including their life.
That's my Bronze Star with V for valor. And that's the Air Medal.
So we're celebrating the young percenters that recognize the need to serve our nation. My name is Troy Taylor, and I'm a veteran of Global War on Terror.
Stephen A. Evans, veteran of the Vietnam War.
Richard Wayne Hall, a veteran of World War II.
So why do I show that video? 3 points. So yesterday, I hope everybody went and voted on election day. But that comment he made, we're still the greatest country in the world, no matter what the election results are. Second thing I want to point out, this week's Veterans Week. So I encourage you, if you see a veteran, tell them thank you and ask them for their story. Those two words or those two statements will go far with the veteran, especially if they're suffering. I studied history at UAB, and I was interviewing a veteran one morning, and he started crying, and it shocked me. And he said, "Chad, no one's ever asked me these questions you're asking me. And if I was to pass away today, no one would ever know my history or my story or my career." So thank a veteran and ask them for their story. So real quick, what I want to do is I want to give y'all a snapshot of the state of Alabama for veteran statistics, and then break it down to Trussville, and then show y'all some events we're doing, and then talk about our Fallen Warrior Monument coming up. Go next slide. So these numbers may be hard to see, but this is a snapshot. Keep in mind, this is 2019 numbers. It's the best snapshot I can give y'all. But in 2019, Alabama had an estimated 370,000 veterans within the state of Alabama. That ranked 20th in the country. That's a lot. The three biggest counties with veterans is Jefferson County is the biggest, Madison, and then Mobile. So we have veterans all around the county and all around the state. Next slide. So here's a snapshot compared to the U.S., 370,000 compared to 20 million in 2019. The thing I want to point out here is the bottom right, the period of service. Look at our World War II veterans. They're dwindling out. We had one here in Trussville, and there may be more. Chief Master Sergeant Bush, he passed away this past January. Did anybody know Chief Master Sergeant Bush? Raise a hand. If you didn't, you probably met him on the road as he tried to run you off the road at 94. I think it was 94. But he had a great story. He was in the Air Force. He was one of the first Air Force enlisted members to work in the nuclear program. And he was actually assigned over some of the nuclear weapons as an enlisted member because there was no officers in his unit. He also got shot down over Romania. He had to parachute out during the war. And when he has a great story, he could tell it better. But when he hit the ground, he actually passed out and knocked him out from the fall. So a great hero. You may see his picture out and about, but a great family. You go next slide. So here's a slide that kind of puzzles me and a lot of people that are in the military today. So if you look at the top, 2018, we had about 20 million service members in the military. By 2048, they're thinking that's going to be about 12.2 million, 8 million decrease. Why do y'all think that? Why do y'all think the numbers are going down?
They're dying.
One, they're dying, but two, the younger generation does not want to serve. They don't have the eager. They don't want to go out and serve. They want, what can I get right now for me? Another thing is the younger generation, they can't pass the test to get in the military. Obesity. Those are some of the things, drugs, that is affecting us today. So our recruiting numbers are down. At our unit, our recruiting numbers are the worst they've been in 20 years. I mean, we're still doing good, but the numbers are going down. So we need that younger generation to get motivated, to want to serve, to help their community. So Retire Guide in October last month put out, ranked Alabama second best state for veterans. We have a good quality of life here. Our Alabama Department of Veteran Affairs does a great job with our veteran homes. There's going to be 5 here. They're working on the 5th one. There's one in Pell City. Great place for veterans to go. And then cost of living is ranked 4th. Who thinks they know what the state is beating us right now? You might guess? They're close by. Florida? Mississippi. So Florida's number 1 right now, just with their the amenities they have for veterans, the scholarship programs they have, and then all the different bases they have throughout Florida. So we can be number 1. I know our Lieutenant Governor wants to be number 1, and so give us a few years, and I think we can get there. So veteran issues and concerns. These are the top 5 I put up there. So as everyone knows, suicide is an issue. PTSD, mental health, drugs. And I want to do something real quick. If you're a veteran or a service member, can you stand up? Again, yeah. I'm going to do an illustration. All right. If you know of someone in the military or a family member, can you stand up? If your neighbor's in the military, somebody at your church. All right, so everyone look around. Everyone is standing up. We are all connected. So if you know somebody that has an issue, please reach out to someone. because someone can get them help. Y'all can sit down. So suicide remains a top issue with our veterans and service members. The numbers are doing better, except in the Army. They're still going down. But recently, they set up a hotline, 988. Call 998, press 1, and get your help immediately. So I advise everybody to know that number to give out if needed. So our Veterans Committee. So we're an official committee for the city of Trussville. We have an ordinance and bylaws, and we have 5 members on our committee. Myself, John Griscom, Linda, she's in the back there, Rob Langford, and then Amy Kane, who's a huge asset for us as she's plugged into the schools. Veteran population as of 2020, about 1,400 for the city. I think that number could probably go up a little bit. That doesn't capture everyone, but around 1,400 as of 2020. And our goal is to make Trussville the veteran-friendliest city in Alabama. And just look around, we've been here a year and a half, and look what we're doing. So I think in the next few years, we can make that happen and be a spot on the map for Alabama. You go next. So I think everyone knows the picture of this icon that was put up in 2015. It's I think we have one of the best veteran parks in the state because it's visible from the main highway. A lot of parks you see in other cities, you don't see it from the highway, so no one knows it's even there. But as you drive down Highway 11, you see this icon right at the Greenway. And one good thing about this is if you have anybody in your family or friends that live in Trussville that have served, you can have their names engraved on the engraving. So you get with City Hall and get that. I think it's $150, but get their names put up on there. Like I said, goal is make Trussville the veteran-friendliest city in Alabama. And what we do as a committee is we advise the mayor and the city council on veteran issues. We also put out a annual report. We put that on the city website. So we have one for last year if y'all want to go out there and look at it, of what events and what we're doing for the city. So here's some of the organizations that we've worked with. American Legion is a big one for us. They're one of our partners as they are here in Trussville. We have a few American Legion members here with us today. Support Our Soldiers. That's also a veteran organization here in Birmingham. They provide care packages to soldiers downrange. And the cool thing about this is last year we had the Trussville City Schools write thank you letters for veterans. We put them in care packages, and those care packages got delivered to nuclear submarines all around the world. So I think it's pretty cool having a letter from Trussville going out to a nuclear submarine. The Alabama Fallen Warriors Project, that's who we're teamed up with for the Alabama Fallen Warrior Monument, which we'll talk about here in a minute. And then John touched on Reefs Across America, which will be next month in December. And then Blue Star Salute Foundation, they're the ones that track all of our fallen heroes for the state. So events and projects that we've done a lot. We've got a lot coming up. So all the big ceremonies, all the big holidays, we do events here in Trussville. We had a bus presentation for Staff Sergeant Segal at Veterans Park. It's on display there. We had 9/11 ceremony. And then this past year, we donated flags to the Trussville schools to ensure there was a flag in every office, in every classroom within the schools. But the cool thing about those flags is we had those flags flown on a refueling mission over the Gulf of Mexico, refueling 8 F-22 Raptors. So it's pretty neat. We get to do that. At City Fest, we've helped at City Fest. The third Thursday of every month, we have a Together with Veterans Night at Red Robin. It's not just veterans, anybody can come. And I encourage y'all to come out. I think last time we had about 15 there. But it's just a time to get together, share stories, eat, have a drink, and have a good time. We have a brochure that we put out on the tables. If y'all would, just take that, kind of read over it. Kind of tells about who we are, what we're doing, and where we're going, and how you can help out and reach out to us. And then Veterans Day campaign, I'll talk about that here in just a minute. Upcoming is the Alabama Fallen Warrior Monument. Talk about that here on the next few slides. But the big thing that we're excited about is this year, we're going to announce the 2022 Veteran of the Year at the Toast of the Town, January, February timeframe with the Chamber. So if you know of anybody that is a veteran within Trussville and that you would like to nominate, please get with us and we'll get you the nomination form for that. And then next year, we couldn't pull it off this year, but next year we want to do a military appreciation night for one of our high school football games. And we think we can get the Army to do a flyover. So we're starting to work that now to make it big and one of the best in the area. And next. So this is probably the best picture we have up here. So this is some of y'all came out to our base just a few months ago, and we can do this anytime. So if y'all want to come back out, we don't mind doing it. But we got to go up in the aircraft. They got to go up in the cockpit, back in the boom, kind of see what we do. But the cool thing was we got to literally stand out on the runway and watch these military aircraft take off right in front of us, which no one ever really gets to do. So that was pretty neat, being right up close to them. Here's some other events that we've done. The top left was our first big event for Memorial Day last year. The bottom left was our flag presentations that we did for the Trussville City Schools. And then the two on the right were our groundbreaking we did last December for the Fallen Warrior Monument. The two pictures on the right are City Fest and then movie night, me and John down there. And the one on the left, it's, I don't know if anybody's eating at Wing It On, but that's Jay Patel and his family run that establishment. And they have actually offered and donated $50,000 to the Fallen Warrior Monument. So it shocked us when he told us that. My jaw dropped. I didn't believe him at first. But they are very veteran friendly. They actually moved here from India 10 years ago, became citizens, and they love the city of Trussville, and they love our veteran community. The top left picture was our September 11th we did for the 20th anniversary. And then the bottom left, that's those care packages that went out to the submarines. And then the two on the right is Reefs Across America and the donation we got from Blue Star Salute Foundation for the monument. So for the monument, we have a lot of community outreach. We had Emirates donate to us about $25,000. Spoke Automotive donated. So we've had a lot of community outreach for this event. And then y'all also donated, which I'll show y'all here a picture of that, the Military Battlefield Cross. So Veterans Day. So everyone knows this week's Veterans Day on Friday. Has everyone been to the parade downtown? The biggest, oldest, longest in America. So I'll encourage y'all, Friday should be good weather, come down. There's usually about 35 to 5,000 participants marching in it with about 150,000 spectators. Last year, it came a monsoon and a storm, and they were still out there watching us. So Raymond Weeks is the founder of that. So this will be our 75th anniversary. And the Clydesdales will also be here this year, which y'all don't know. So they'll be marching in the parade, and they're making their way around Alabama right now on a tour. And I have these posters. If anybody wants to put one up in their business or office, we have plenty of these posters kind of explaining what Veterans Day is, how it started here. And the interesting fact about this is there was a city in Kansas that says, no, we started Veterans Day. But we have all the proof that Alabama and Birmingham actually started. So their city is like decorated in veteran stuff all year round. They're proud of it, but we still have the proof that it started here. So Reefs Across America, John spoke about this. This year the theme is Remember, Honor, and Teach. This is a great event that we do once a year at Jefferson Memorial, so thank y'all. And I believe last year we had the fourth largest in the state. The fourth largest in the state Trussville had for this event. So Reefs are $15. I believe it's already passed for the payment for those. But this year is going to be good. I think we'll have the news out there and a lot of students helping us. So come out if you can. So Alabama Fallen Warrior Monument. So I talked about y'all made a donation to the monument. This is the donation that y'all made. That is the Military Battlefield Cross that will be on display in the middle of the monument. So thank y'all for that. It actually is here in Trussville. It's already made. It's already been delivered, and it looks very nice. So we partnered with Mark Davis on this, and I won't go in detail, but there was already plans for this to be established in another city. But they kept pushing it down the road, and I finally called Mark and said, Mark, let's come to Trussville and try to put this here. I think we're ready for it. And so we brought Mark here, talked to the council, and we hit the ground running with it. So in a little over a year, we've gotten this far with it. And if you go down Highway 11 toward Payne, look on the left at Veterans Park, and you'll see all the columns starting to come up. I believe all the columns are already up. And so give about a month or two, and it'll be complete. So we can't wait to see the end results for that. Go back one more slide. And we also had a state resolution signed by Lieutenant Governor Shay Shonut, pushed that forward for us. So it's getting attention at the state level. One more. Sorry. Oh, fine. So what is the why? Why are we doing this? So it's said that when a military member is killed, they lose two lives. The first is when they lose their last breath on the battlefield, but the second is when they're forgotten. And that is our goal, to make sure that they're not forgotten. So the community remember all these 226 members that paid the ultimate sacrifice, so that millions of people like us can live our lives, hold our grandkids, go to family events. So that's what we're honoring them for. So 226 members killed since 9/11. These are all their pictures, minus this one. And the interesting thing about it is the first 4 here were killed in the Pentagon for a direct strike. Major Williams here played at UNA, star athlete. He actually shouldn't have been in the office at the moment the plane hit. He should have been going to a meeting, but he let another female go. And so he ended up paying the ultimate sacrifice that morning. The 5th member we have here is a CIA agent. He was the first member killed in the Middle East after 9/11. And then each one of these members have a unique story. So one of the things I'm excited about for this monument is getting the schools involved on this and having the schools research these members, meet their families, talk to their families, hear the stories of these heroes here within the state of Alabama. So that's what I'm excited about for this. So 115 have been killed in action, 111 have killed non-hostile, training, flying. Every branch, Army, Air Force, Marines, Coast Guard have been affected. 18 to 54 years old are the ages from these 226. And then there's been a service member killed in every county in Alabama. All 67 counties have been affected by this. So here's a picture of the bust. Like I said, we have one bust on display at the Veterans Park, James DeGaulle. Colonel Lee Busby down in Tuscaloosa is the one that sculpts these busts. And what he does is he gets pictures from the families and he sculpts it out of clay. And he is very detailed at what he does. So he'll bring the families down maybe 4 or 5 times, look at the bust, look at the pictures. And he's so detailed, the families will be like, no, there's a little indentation on the ear or there's a bump on the back of the neck. And he'll make that on the clay monument because he wants to be as perfect as it can be. So this is one here that he's done. I mean, he's really good at what he does. And then he gives the clay model to the University of Alabama and they make the finished product. And I believe right now we have 5 that will be on display at the park. And a lot of these families, they get offered to get a bust, but a lot of families don't want one. They've grieved, and that's all they want to do. But some families want a bust. And the thing that stood out to me the most was a lot of these families live in rural parts of the state. And they're like, my bust will never be seen down here in South Alabama. So I want to put it in Trussville so people can see my son or my daughter or my grandkids. There's a sample picture. What I want to show here at the top, Army Colonel Stephen Scott, 54-year-old, the oldest one killed since global war and terror from Alabama. Next. Like I talked about the columns, each column will have a dog tag on the column, 7-foot tall column. The dog tag will have their name, where they got killed, and their dates of service. And they'll be in alphabetical order, so everyone can go in there and see the fallen heroes and read about them. So here's kind of a layout of the monument. So it's the parking lot. As you come in, you'll walk over the 111 members killed non-hostile. And as you enter a park, each dot on there represents a column. We'll have 2 plaques in the middle that kind of talk about the park or the monument, and then all the big donors. And then we'll have the Battlefield Military Cross in the middle, and then an American flagpole, and then benches throughout the park, throughout the monument, so people can sit and reflect, read, and learn about these heroes. Anybody got any questions? Anything? I think that's it. Thank you.
You talked a lot about the schools.
Yep.
And the research, which is fantastic. But are you aware of to what degree our children are being taught as far as the wars that this country has experienced and the sacrifices of these people?
So I know from my experience when I was in school 5 years ago or so, 12 years ago, we did not. All you hit on was the wars, and that was it. It wasn't until when I got to college and I started doing my history degree, because I studied the Vietnam War, is when I actually got out and started hearing about these stories and these heroes and these veterans saying, no one's ever asked me these questions. I've never been invited to schools and been presented or asked questions from kids or students about my service. And I will say Trussville has a couple of veteran events at the schools this week. So go out to them. They're great. I'm going to one here in just a minute. But no, I don't think they're getting down to this level in the schools. I could be wrong. But with a history degree, I do hope to teach in Trussville one day. So I'll have to bring that in there.
There's a drive-through at Hobby Elementary for the anybody else. There's getting letters
Yeah.
to all the veterans in town, and so I believe it starts at 9:30. You drive through Cobble Elementary School, and the kids are gonna hand you the letters in your car. So it's like a drive-through
Parade.
parade.
Yeah.
If anybody wants to drive through, they would love to see everybody, so.
Yep.
Well,